I don't even know how to say this. Welcome to the vlog. Welcome to the hardest vlog I ever had to record. Day one, July 1st. My schedule is open. My last task as a Harley employee. Gotta send back the computer and the phone. Of course it doesn't fit. Feeling kind of weird right now. Not gonna lie. That was my last official act as a Harley-Davidson employee. Sending that box back to the motor company. What's next? Honestly, this is day one. I got up, did my normal morning routine. I don't even know what to do next. Don't even know. All right, today I want to tell you about a deeply personal journey for myself, my 25-year career at the Harley-Davidson Motor Company that came to an end 2 weeks ago. It's been a difficult couple of weeks as I kind of process everything that has happened, but you know, there's better things waiting for me out there, and I wanted to share with you a little bit of the journey that was a 25-year career at Harley. I got a few things I wanted to talk to you guys about, you know, what things were like back when it started. I've got notes right here, as you can tell. Kind of the big milestones, the things that happened at the motor company in the last 25 years. And it's mostly product related because that's kind of the cool stuff that I geek out on anyway. I love new motorcycles. And then I want to share just real briefly how I'm kind of moving forward, how I'm coping through this. It's not going to be too laborious, I promise. And then what's next, which honestly, I'm still trying to figure out. So let's get right into it. So in the beginning, what were things like, man? I joined Harley-Davidson a year after college, and I had a passion for motorcycles that I got from my parents. I was 10 when I got my first little dirt bike that my dad got for me at a garage sale down the street, and I love motorcycles ever since then. And obviously Harley-Davidson is a brand that, you know, people aspire to be connected with. And you know, just the connection with like-minded people, the colleagues being there, and just being a part of an iconic brand was just tremendous. It fueled my early years there. It was a really great time. You know, when I got there, it was 1998. It's been a while. And at that time, the Harley-Davidson lifestyle was booming. Riders embodied a sense of freedom and rebellion that captured the imagination of millions, and it was a great time to be there. 1998 was right after they celebrated, or I got there in September right after they celebrated the 95th anniversary, and it was great, man. There was a lot of product innovation happening at that time. During that time, HD was pushing the boundaries of motorcycle design and tech, and the new twin cam 88 motor had just came out. It was a game changer, offering more power, reliability, and that performance that everyone craves. It came tuned with primary vibration dampening, which is something that I thought was really cool at the time because Harleys were well known for being kind of rattly. And The Softails had that vibration tuned very specifically. So they could have tuned all of the vibration out of those bikes, and they didn't. They left a little bit in because they didn't want it to be completely smooth. And that was actually good, because I had a 2000 model Fat Boy. That was the first Harley I'd ever bought. And if you were riding with a group of guys and it was loud, you couldn't tell the thing was on unless it was making a little bit of vibration. Another huge improvement over the Evo motor was the power. The new twin cam motors were way more powerful than the mainstay Evos at the time, and the Evolution motor was the big, I mean, there was a million of them that had been out there, and people loved them. And it's funny to think now how impressed we were with the power of a twin cam 88. You know, I'm riding on a 121, but that's just mind-blowingly fast compared to that twin cam 88 now. But at the time, it was a very fast bike. Oh, and then the last product innovation here, I'm looking at my notes, making sure I'm sticking to it, that came out in 1998 was the Mollier 99 Custom Vehicle Operations FXR2 and FXR3. It's hard to believe that there was a time without CVO. And I've got another video coming up about that because I actually got to work on some of the components of those very first bikes. And that was like my very first project, was to help get ready for CVO. It was really special for me a couple months ago to finally be able to buy a CVO myself after having spent so much of my career on CVOs and just being around them and being familiar with the product. 1998 was also a big year of expansion for Harley. So, you know, the last few years have been going the opposite direction for Harley, but 98 was in the middle of some huge growth, and they had just expanded powertrain operations to the Menominee Falls plant in here in the Milwaukee area, about 7 miles north of the old powertrain facility, which has since been closed down, and just started making Sportsters and Dynas at the Kansas City, Missouri plant. And that factory would eventually see the iconic V-Rod motorcycle and the Street 500 750, a little less iconic, but still great motorcycles. Everyone loved them. And that facility that started in 98 there, actually a little bit before then, was going until 2019. So a big time of expansion for the motor company. So let's talk a little bit about the milestones and challenges here during that time. You know, we got to see a lot of highs and lows in the last 25 years. And, you know, the lows, which I didn't jot down any notes, but the lows were pretty low. You know, you get to the Great Recession, and that was really tough. The motor company lost a third of its production volume, global production volume. It dropped from, you know, 330,000 a year to 220,000 a year, just that 1 year alone. And it was a huge hit to the motor company. And that was at that time that we started doing things like, well, I say we, well, yeah, it was we at the time, started doing things like consolidating facilities and, you know, trying to trim product line and get just the right stuff out there. But around all that, there was a lot of good stuff, like the Harley-Davidson V-Rod. That was introduced in 2001. It was a huge departure from typical Harley, and it had a liquid-cooled motor, sleek modern design. The bike was just to die for. It was anodized aluminum finish, hydroformed frame, liquid-cooled overhead cams. It was everything that you could ever dream for in a motorcycle, and the thing was amazing. I actually bought a 2014 V-Rod Muscle, and I love that thing. I rode it all over the place, and honestly, I probably rode it to too many places, so I did take it to Sturgis one year. That was too much. Shouldn't take a V-Rod to Sturgis. If you're out there riding a V-Rod, please leave a comment. Tell me how far you've gone on your V-Rod. I'm sure other people have done it too, but you know what kind of a chore it is with a 5-speed V-Rod to take it on a long trip. So V-Rod, very, very much a game changer, very much a milestone for the motor company. 2006 was a big year, because that's when we relaunched the Street Glide. Now, there was previously an FLHX in 1984. It was a special edition electric glide. And it was an FLHX, just like the Street Glide, but not called a Street Glide. It was called an electric glide special edition electric glide is what it was. And but in 2006, stripped down bagger was the new scene, and it was a huge hit for the motor company. As you can imagine, you've seen people out there on their Street Glides. You know how many of them are out there. There's a ton of them. People love them. I personally have had several Street Glides. It's a fantastic motorcycle. It's a perfect blend of stripped down, around town performance combined with long haul touring capability. And I love my Street Glide. I've got a new CVO Street Glide that you guys have seen here on the channel, and it's a great bike. It was the best-selling model for the motor company for years, and for a long time, global sales of Street Glides, just the Street Glide, was more than what most motorcycle manufacturers would sell of all of their models. And so it was fantastically successful for the motor company. And it really did change the landscape and the expectations of touring bikes for customers all around the world. So great motorcycle. Now the last one, or actually I got two more. The next one I want to mention is the Breakout, which came out in 2013. And this one's special for a lot of reasons. The bike is just straight cool. You go out and look at a Breakout today, you go look at a 2024 model Breakout, and it is undeniably cool. And it's kind of an old holdover from the 90s when long and low and a Softail was the custom scene. You know, the custom scene has now shifted to touring motorcycles, and there's a lot of people out there doing like the really old stuff, which is kind of cool too. This long and low Softail look was something in the 90s, Softails and Dynas. And this kind of harkened back to that in 2013. After that had kind of come and gone, and everyone was onto the custom touring scene. And the Breakout is just an incredible bike. What's really cool about it is it was designed by a team of people in custom vehicle operations. So it started as a CVO. And then, believe it or not, it got picked up by the OE guys, the guys who make all the other motorcycles, and they redeveloped it for, you know, mainstream production. So you had this group of people that were making these really customized motorcycles that made the Breakout, and then it got adopted by the OE group, which is kind of the opposite direction. No other bike has gone that way. So every other bike that's a CVO started as a mainstream production bike and then was dressed up to be a CVO. This one started as a CVO and got dressed down to be a regular bike, which is kind of a cool little history thing there that maybe you didn't know about. And then the last bike, I'm going to talk about this one. You may or may not agree with me, but you have to recognize its place in history. And that's the Harley-Davidson Livewire. Back in 2020, 2019, because that's the way we used to launch things for model year. Model year 20 was launched in 2019, and that was when the world got its first taste of the power that an electric Harley-Davidson motorcycle could provide. I got caught up in that, man. I bought one pretty quick myself, and I loved that thing. It was so fast, mind-bendingly fast. It was a great motorcycle. And another little history thing, and you may have seen this on the videos from last summer when we did the 120th anniversary ride, but in the 115th anniversary, back in 2018, Matt Levatich rode a Livewire prototype. And so we had been doing all kinds of testing and stuff, making sure that it was perfect before we launched it. And he rode a prototype back in 2018 at the head of the parade. Well, fast forward 5 years after that, we're going back to the parade. We're going to ride in the parade, and my daughter Naomi was riding my Livewire. And we thought, you know what? She might be the second person to ever ride a Livewire in the parade. And so, sure enough, we went and looked. We went down the line, the whole line, so we were all staged, and you could see who was going to be in what spots. And there were no other Livewires in front of us, so she was the second person to ride a Livewire in that parade. But the live wire, love it or hate it, you know, I get it. You know, I've got a bike. I know what things are like. I know the difference. I've felt it. I've owned both. And I really like having exhaust. So I get it. But love it or hate it, it made its mark on history in motorcycling. So that's all the good stuff. And now I got to talk about what happened to me a couple weeks ago. So now fast forward almost 26 years after I started in 1998, my career is over. Everything's changed. After that almost 26 years of dedicated service, I received news of my layoff. There was an organizational change and I didn't make the cut. So obviously the initial shock gave way to a flood of emotions, you know, disbelief, sadness, uncertainty about the future. So I've spent a lot of time, you know, just wondering what I'm supposed to be doing next. And certainly not there yet. You know, despite the setback, I've chosen to approach this transition with resilience and optimism. I'm actually very grateful for the experiences and friendships that I forged at Harley, and it's prepared me for this next step, next step for me in my career. And you know, as with any long-term relationship, it's hard to see it go. It really is hard. But here it is. I'm done. So, you know, I realize that while my career there has come to an end, my passion for motorcycles and the community remains undiminished. I'm going to be here still creating videos. I'm going to Sturgis and homecoming the next couple of weeks. And I love hearing from you guys out there on YouTube, and really appreciate you for, you know, just following and watching this channel. And I really appreciate you guys. I thank you all for reaching out to me. Many of you I know personally, and you've been reaching out to me and supporting me during this time, and I really appreciate you. And thank you so much for watching this video if you've made it here to the end. I hope this would be a help to someone. I hope you enjoyed it a little bit and you got to kind of hear my story a little bit. Now I've got more to tell. I'm actually kind of excited now, because now that I'm not a Harley-Davidson employee, I don't have to be as careful about the things that I say. I can say stuff about the Harley-Davidson Motor Company and I don't have to worry about it being like an advertisement. So that's good news. All right, guys. Hey, thank you so much for watching. And until next time,